Doing a free show, so I just want to let the big guy know, not Tony, big guy, JSU. Got to watch your language here on a free show, my friend. This is our premium show. It's got two of the greatest minds in the history of the world and probably the most brilliant person in the history of the world, me, of course. We usually do these shows behind the paywall. Today, we're going to be giving it to you for free. Why? Why not? Why not? I do need to remind again, JSU, you and me need to watch our mouths. This is not the premium show. We cannot drop F-bombs and C-bombs and everything else every other second. There could be children that aren't K-Phalix children that are actually watching this show. See, you didn't say anything. You're putting your middle finger up, and I like that. That was a very creative way, JSU, to say you deserve. Now, that's a little weird. I feel like your wife knows that move. So anyways, we got a little 8-game slate tonight. That's right? We got a little 8-game slate tonight. We got a like button, I got to tell you. So you hit the like button or whatever. Apparently, JSU's working on a script because the donkeys that usually do the free show don't know how to tell you what's going on in the show normally. So I'll just do it for you right now. No, you said that to me. It's like they talk too much about the site. Here's what you got to do. And I learned this from Joey Work the other day. You got to yell. You got to go, hey, man, this is a great time to sign up for Run Pure Sports. We're killing it in baseball. We're just absolutely murdering the NBA playoffs. We got a bet side. We give you our core plays, the best in the world, 15% off your first month's installment on a monthly plan by using the code. Whose code do we want to use? Gary 15. Gary, apparently a single man by himself in Thailand. You're telling me that's not a little bit shady? Says he's on a business trip. I think he's married too. Anyways, let's get into this. Big guy up there is quiet. The big guy down low is quiet. Tony, let's talk for a second. First of all, congratulations. Congratulations to you on your shipper. Serious congratulations, because I thought that you were going to put your horse to slaughter. And from what I learned, it actually avoided the slaughterhouse. And hey, don't mind me, JSU. You just keep yawning up in the corner. You know, this is a free show. This is what JSU does. Anyways, congratulations, Tony. Big winner today, right?
Thank you. Yeah, our horse was out there, got the job done for us. You both hate horses, so I don't need the fake excitement. And I mean, I don't even know what you're talking about, slaughterhouse. I don't want to go down that path because then you'll get very sensitive on us.
I will.
And we don't need that. I mean, even JSU likes horses more than Holden. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm scared to go down that path because you told me it's a dark path to go down with you. So I'm a little nervous.
Tony? I hate horses, but I also don't want to see them turn into glue. So it's a very delicate balance with me when it comes to horses.
I think you're like the first person ever that I've heard that like it's one thing, like you just don't like JSU, he just doesn't care either way. Like right. He's not like excited to go bet horses. He doesn't care, but you like legitimate, your feelings get hurt by it. It catches me off guard.
Yeah. And I got a call this morning to host a show tomorrow talking about horses. And JSU, you'll be proud of me. I hung up on Tony before he could hang up on me. I was like, when is he done? When's he almost done with the sentence? Dang, I hung up just before he could get to work.
I will say, out of everything you've done so far, Holden, the intro, talking about horses, that's the first thing that I'll actually give you an applause for, hanging up on Tony before he hangs up on you. Because let me tell you right now, people, that is a skill to learn. If you don't already know, when Tony calls you, if there is a second of silence, I'm telling you right now, that end button is clicked. Like, it's over, conversation done. You could still be talking to yourself for like 20 seconds after, thinking he's still on the line. He's not. He already hung up on you. So that's just how he rolls. I will say, though, Holden, you talked about all the heaters at Rump. You butchered the intro. I mean, God, I don't know why Tony called you. I don't know why.
I'm back on JSU's side. It was so bad.
To do a horse show for him, I mean, you just butchered it. He called you because you're supposed to be the best host in the business.
Exactly.
And you come on this free show and give the worst intro of all time. Tony, we got to rethink this whole thing.
I mean, it's terrible. It was a horrible intro.
Give me some constructive criticism.
He didn't even start. I mean, the guy's one of the most well-known horse handicappers in the world. He doesn't even use his name because he probably doesn't remember. And just a terrible intro. I mean, you should have at least talked the guy up that's picking winners again today. He's going to come on, help us out. And we already got it up on the helmet's already got it on the website to where people can buy his picks for the Derby and for the Oaks Friday and Saturday, 2 biggest betting days of the year for horse people. And you butchered it. I'm back on Johnny's side. Like, that was a terrible intro.
Horse people like minotaurs, like half horse, half person. That's not
what you're talking about. Two. It's not that I hate horses.
Oh, it's so bad. Like, his horse picks are so bad. Oh God.
It is Space Cowboy. It's
free to host a show in the morning.
Oh, Jesus. It's not that I don't hate. It's not that I hate horses. It has nothing to do with that. It's just that I gamble on so many things. It's just not something that I look to do. I have an uncle. He loves horse betting. He literally during the Derby, that's all he thinks about every year. It's his favorite thing ever. He's obviously older now, but that's his favorite thing to bet on by far. I know a ton of people love it. It's just not like the top for me. Like if I can bet on basketball or football, baseball, these other sports, I'll bet on those things before I go to the, horse bet, but that's just me. I mean, I don't know. Tony's different, obviously. I'm different.
I mean,
he had his
like watching stuff
win
on your TV. You don't have to pick one thing. You're allowed to watch multiple things.
Oh, I know that, but like, come on,
it's
we gamble every day.
What are you betting NBA at 1 p.m. today?
I mean, I could have been betting baseball at 1 p.m.
Oh,
that was fun.
I wasn't actually. I went to lunch with my wife, so I was actually pretty I enjoyed myself. I got to go to lunch. It was very nice today, so
did you do this,
pretty happy about that.
Did you do
this? No. God.
I mean, I can't believe you did that to me. That hurts.
I can. It was a terrible intro.
Yeah,
you deserved a longer one. I should have done it for longer.
Don't understand. I don't understand what's wrong with it. Everybody else seems to like it.
If I was worried about getting canceled,
literally no one in the chat
show.
Hold on a second.
Who liked his intro?
Oh, look.
No one.
Poja Stoner, Team Holden.
I think he was Team Holden, maybe about the horse stuff.
Wiley Golf
not
Pro.
About the intro.
Treated like Rodney Dangerfield. Nobody under 40 knows who that is.
I'm under 40. I know.
Yeah. Oh, you know Rodney Dangerfield?
Yeah,
you do too, huh?
I'm barely under the cutoff, but I know.
Okay.
I'm more than barely under the cutoff, and I know.
I also want to throw this in here.
I'm with this guy right here. You got rid of the one I hated, but I'm with this guy. The older you get, it goes right back to
took it off. He took it right off
3 times.
Oh God. Holden, I got another question for you. So what's your obsession with talking NBA on an MLB show? What's the obsession with it?
I mean, the season.
Tony, were you watching the Flop show yesterday? He brought up the NBA like 10 different times.
Because he missed us. What do you mean? I know why. He missed us. He loves us. He missed us.
Tony sabotaged the show on Friday, so it got out of hand.
Somehow, the Friday show that was a disaster was my fault somehow.
When he texted me, he goes,
on it.
He goes, "You miss your boys, don't you?" And you know how to text it to him? I do. I did it twice, not just once. I did it twice. I said, I do miss my boys. And then yesterday, you get into chat and you sabotage the show again. This time.
Wait, Tony sabotaged
plenty of time to go game by game. It's like I've been doing this.
Holden, it was 6:20, and you're like, we don't have time to go game by game. We only have 50 minutes.
We're showing DC. Listen. 40 minutes with DC, and we hadn't even gotten through pitching yet. You're telling me that we were going to be fine? I don't know.
I'm just saying. The good thing about baseball is you can always throw out games to move quicker. Like not everyone's not playing every stack, so it's easy to throw out games. Come on, Holden, you can get through a game by game 12-game slate in 50 minutes. I don't care who's on there.
Okay. I'm just hoping we go longer than titles. Usually 45 minutes on this free show.
Yeah, well, that's why
I'm hoping we can outclass the usual group. We got to be able to go at least 47 minutes to pass them.
We've gone about 10 minutes so far and haven't even touched the actual slate. So I think we're on a good pace.
I can't wait till Holden brings up the hoops, baby. We got a game tonight.
I'm about to, but this is a great point by our friend.
JSU's dusty ass Celtics team can do anything.
God, can they do anything, please? I'm asking for a friend.
The Celtics?
Yeah, the Celtics, Holden. Yes, the damn Celtics. I mean, geez, we got.
What happened to Holden's backdrop too? Like he's
on
the sun now.
I moved. I gotta buy my fake brick wallpaper. Okay.
Oh, you moved. Like
I gotta
actually
put
moved
back here. That I only got 2 things up. I got a whole bunch of stuff up here. So we got.
Tony, you know until
you want this? You want this up on the background, Tony? Is that gonna make you happy? No.
I feel like Tony. We do shows with him like.
Yeah.
I don't know, every day, every other day. He never told me he was moving. He just moved. He doesn't tell anybody.
Yeah.
Well, why would I bother?
He was literally putting stuff on his shelf during the show that he said I sabotaged.
No. I was not putting it on there.
I literally saw you putting it on the shelf.
That was yesterday.
Well, you just said I sabotaged yesterday too. You
didn't sabotage yesterday. Johnny AirPods.
Oh, so I sabotaged Friday. He sabotaged yesterday.
Yeah.
All I said was you have plenty of time to go game by game. That's all I said. That's all I said. I said nothing else.
I don't need to hear if you say, "Hey, Holden, you look like an idiot today." That's not sabotaging the show. That's factual. But you say, "Oh, you got time to go game by game." Don't worry about it. I got time to go game by game. And then Phalix in the chat over here. Phalix just barking.
The key with Phalix, you just got to ignore him when he's in chat. He wants the attention. JT Hayes taught me this. You just let him go crazy in the chat. JT Hayes taught me this a long time ago. You just ignore him.
Don't mention him.
You know the best part about Kevin? You know the best part about Kevin? It kills him that we're on this show right now, by the way. It absolutely kills him that we're on this show right now. So you don't need to bring up anything else. That kills him on his own. I know, Kevin. I'm sorry. Is Kevin going back on the 3 max today, or did he get kicked off the 3 max? Is what I want to know from Kevin.
I don't know. I don't know if Mangone's seen it yet. I think he still might be on there, or he might have invited him. It might have been an invite.
I thought he got kicked off because yesterday he was posting his scores in chat, and I said, "Kevin, go back on the 3 max." He said, "I can't."
He got booted from there too. He got booted from the.
He's saying he's on it. Yesterday, Kevin, I saw you posting cores in chat. So what are you saying?
You were going to ignore him, JSU, and now you can't shut up.
Now
I'm all the attention.
Now I'm interested,
and he got it. He's sucking the weakest one of us in to talking about him even more.
The weakest one of us in. I'll fucking drop your ass. Get out of here.
Wow. Holden. He went right in.
Weakest one.
Free show. You know what I'm saying? You put me on the free show.
You brought it out of me. It's not my fault.
Last time I saw you guys squaring up, Holden did hit you in the nuts or something, didn't he? Or what
last time you saw us, we were hugging it out.
I thought, the last time. But
that was
on
the
the
time
court,
I told
I thought
you to
he
get
hit
off
you in the ball bag or something.
He did. See, this was Holden's plan to try and slow me down. He pulled a Dylan Brooks. I'm LeBron. He's Dylan Brooks, and he pulled the Dylan Brooks and swatted me in the nuts on purpose, by the way, too. It wasn't by accident. He literally told me he was trying to slow me down.
I did not.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
I did not. I would never do that. I'm serious.
This is how good I was compared to about 90% of the people there. I had people trying to tackle me, throw me down, hitting me in the nuts. Tony had people jumping on his back. We did double team Tony like every single time he caught the ball.
Double team?
That's why I made that face.
You had like 4 dudes.
Well, that's true.
Because Kirky's I hope Kirky's wide. I mean, Kirky's dusty ass. I picked him out of loyalty, and the dude couldn't make it 2 trips up and down the court. And man, I showed loyalty though, Kirky. I know you're out there watching.
The loyalty did kill me the whole time. You go loyalty.
Yeah,
you're complaining about it. Friggin' 2-3 years later, you're still complaining about it. Loyalty. That's what loyalty gets, Tony.
Post it in there, Kirky. I know you're in there.
I hope Kirk's. I haven't talked
loyalty.
To him long time, man. Long time. We were going to talk NBA because one of my favorite Kansas guys, Joel Embiid, the third most valuable player in the National Basketball Association, won the MVP award yesterday. So congratulations to him. They must have felt bad for him because, they didn't give it to him 2 times. In all seriousness, Jokic and Giannis should have been ahead of him. One jackass left Jokic off the list altogether, but I'm fine with Embiid.
That's why you just got to lose your vote, though. Like, they got to recalculate. If you didn't vote for someone like that, like, you got to lose your vote.
Like, how is he not on it? Or like, how is that even possible? Like, what are we doing here? That's got to be.
And they always say it's about wins too. They always say this. Like, one of the things the last couple of years was against Yoke was, his team's not winning because Jamal was out and they had injuries. Now he's the 1 seed, and now it doesn't matter anymore because he won the last year.
No, you can make the case that this was Yoke's best year of all 3 years. Yeah, honestly,
it has
efficiency wise, everyone else's efficiency is up. The team is playing really good, number 1 seed, and he doesn't get it. It's fine. We've seen this happen before. I still think Shaq should have won it the year Steve Nash won it, 2004. So, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, no question.
CB, no, bro. We'll talk baseball when we want, bro.
Bruh. Next time.
No, not bruh. Bro. It says bro.
Well, I'm going to talk back to him. Bruh.
I do like bruh better, though. Like when I say, like, bruh. Yeah. I like that better than bro.
I like that. So, listen, who was that again? Where is he? Bruh.
CB. It was an egg avatar. Just like K-Falix is an egg avatar, it was CB.
I do like bruh, though.
Yeah, bruh sounds better than bro.
That's how the elementary. That's how
you better relax, bro. I've been crowning them. I'm still crowning them. You better relax. Don't be sensitive because they whooped up on your weak Warriors team. People were so happy when the Warriors beat the Kings too, and the Kings literally pissed down their pants. And Curry was amazing, but the rest of the team stunk. The Warriors stink, and it's been fun. Like, there's nothing to be ashamed of about that. They've been the best team for a decade. Like, it's not going to last forever.
I mean, it did take Curry just absolutely pulling out his nuts and just laying it on the table. Like,
sucking.
Boom.
Like, they were terrible.
JSU, this is a baseball show. Why are you talking basketball?
I mean, we're talking hoops. What do you want? Bro told me to
says
talk
it's a
more
baseball
hoops.
show anyways. When we started Run Pure, like, it was the whole point, like, we'd come on, do a show. Like, it doesn't have to be a freaking baseball show.
That's
what
I
think.
Like, yeah. So here's the deal. We put these guys behind the paywall because they're the best in the business, but we also bullshit for 15 to 20 minutes before we get into what we're doing. So, and then the other thing is, Tony, what is baseball hard or easy? How's baseball?
Yeah, baseball's easy.
See? So you got a guy that thinks baseball's easy. You don't need to spend that much time on it. We'll go game by game and we'll get through it. But baseball,
I love to. So another baseball topic. These are why our shows are always fun. So I see all these nerds on Twitter making fun of Blake Snell because he didn't know what WRC plus is. The announcers don't know either. And these nerds on Twitter think it's the funniest. Like, who cares if he doesn't know it? He's a good pitcher, and he's been a good pitcher. Why the hell does he need to know what WRC plus is?
I wish I would.
That's what nerds know.
Yeah. They get one of us. One of us. Blake Snell is one of us. That's what I think when I think of Blake Snell right there. That gif of all those people on the table. To me, I'm with you, Tony. He's a great pitcher or a solid pitcher. What does it matter that he doesn't know his stats?
I could care less if he knows what WRC plus is. Like, if my stat team of my team doesn't know, then I'll be a little more worried. But if my pitcher doesn't know, I mean,
can he get swings and misses? Yes or no, Tony? Can he get Ks? Can he sit some dudes down? Can he win a ball game?
Then the announcer tells him, he's like, it's weighted runs, and then Blake's like, what's the plus? And then the guy had no idea again. He's like, I don't know. It was a great
Didn't he say, I think that means good, right? That means good, right? Or something like that. I was like, there we go.
I'm going to post something from the Twitter machine onto what we just did. Logan Webb was talking about today's game. Apparently, this whole team has the shits. So it says Logan Webb. Yeah, I think we've all been there. I think I was there last week. The whole trip has been a grind. It's been
I was there yesterday.
3/4 of our clubhouse has the shits. It'll be good to get home. Hopefully shits. I wish I would have known that because I totally would have bet against them. I mean, can you imagine that?
Good info to have before they go out there.
Right?
You never feel good when you got the shits.
Holden, you're echoing.
You're echoing.
No, it's when
not
you're
this
on
again.
mute.
Here we go again.
Dude.
No,
I'm
it's
gonna
you.
put the headphones on. It's always freaking Johnny's AirPods. Like,
I'm literally not echoing right now.
I'm convinced it's always
you're
no
on
one's
mute.
echoing.
You're on mute and there's no echo. There's no
No,
echo.
I can't. I hope we don't have another echo show.
Oh, we do, and it's on a free show too.
Oh,
and then he's gonna blame me, and it's his AirPods. It's his goddamn AirPods.
Holden, I was just on mute for a minute. You echoed the entire time.
I don't even hear an echo
Mute
again.
yourself, Holden. Mute yourself. Chat, is there an echo? Yes or no? It is fucking Holden. I'm telling you right now. No, keep yourself muted, Holden.
You blamed me last time.
Damn it, Holden.
You blamed me last time. And
I'm
it
just
wasn't
telling
me.
you, it's you.
It wasn't me. It wasn't
Just
me.
telling you.
All right.
Mute yourself. There we go. Much better. Tony, speak.
I mean, I haven't heard the echo the whole time. I'm going to put my headphones on, though, if it keeps happening.
All right, let's
I'll
get
pull
into
them
the
out.
slate.
I'm not scared to pull them out again and get
into the
made
slate.
fun of.
Let's get into the slate. Phallic, apparently, who is complaining once again about our sex talk behind the paywall, and now he's complaining that we haven't talked baseball and we're 20 minutes into the show. When is this guy going to get the essence of Run Pure Sports, Tony? This is your guy, and he just doesn't understand.
What did I tell you about Kevin? Stop giving him attention.
Hold on. Let me put him in timeout. You can 5-minute timeout his ass. You're in a timeout, Kevin. Kevin's in a 5-minute timeout. We can't see it. All right, guys. Seriously, let's get into this slate today. We got a little 8-gamer, a couple places with a little bit of weather. Not too concerned about it. Johnny AirPods sitting there in Boston. It's still in the 50s, low 50s right now. A little bit of rain, a little bit of moisture. It's going to be moist in New York where the Guardians are taking on the Yankees. That's in the 50s as well.
Always good when it's a little moist.
It is. There's no doubt about it. There is no doubt about it. And then can I also throw this guy up here? Where is he? He might need a 5-minute timeout too. He might need a 5-minute.
Travis is another guy that can't make it an hour, so I don't think he needs to worry about our. I mean, once you get out of the 47-minute show window,
an hour. What are we talking about? No way, Travis makes it more than 30 seconds.
Normally, that free show's been going 47 minutes all week, so we'll see if we can. Yeah, I mean they've been struggling.
And they say like button like for at least 4 to 7 minutes of the show too. So it's time to start stalling, guys. Start talking about other things. Broaden your horizons is all I could say. Mangone, you have other things you could talk about, like playing basketball.
Going to art shows, whatever else.
Yeah. What was that thing called he went to? What was that?
Wasn't it an art show?
The Meow, yeah. Talk about going to Meow Wolf.
Yeah.
I mean, that's good content.
Yeah. Says you didn't watch it.
Wolf.
How long did it go? Yeah, yesterday was like a 14-game slate. I hope you guys went an hour.
He picks the day where there's a 12-game slate.
Like today, we got an 8-game slate and one NBA game. Like we'll extend.
Okay. Like button would be wonderful. If you want these guys plays of the day, get us to 2.
Travis timed out someone yesterday. I like that.
You did?
I'm back on Travis's side now.
Oh. Well, I time out.
I like it.
And I want Travis to host tomorrow instead of Holden because Holden's got terrible horse mojo.
I do. I'm not happy about the horses. Not happy.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way Travis would be that negative.
I knew someone that ate a horse. Person was in Kyrgyzstan, and that's like a normal dish for them. So
I can't believe I went back down the horse path because then you say something like that. Now I'm back on Travis's side again. It's riveting content. I mean,
I love it.
I don't even know why he hates horses still so much. I don't get it.
Like, I should have heard him. Well, how he bragged about hanging up on me. You should have heard the things he was saying. It was so bad.
What was I saying?
I was ready to hang up, and he did.
No,
beat me
you were laughing, and I purposely hung up while you were laughing because I knew you weren't.
I was laughing at the insanity that you were telling me.
I know for a fact Tony was definitely ready to hang up on you too after saying all that stuff. So it is funny that you beat him.
He did beat me. He beat me to it though. He did.
Stevie Boynton won 100K or a different Steve? Who won 100K from RPS? Everybody wins so much. I don't even know who's winning.
It's not. It's the dude from a different site that is actually like unbelievable. The last stretch, he's won 100K like every night. Like he's just been so good.
What's that like?
That guy's really good anyway. Steve
You
Buzzard.
do that. You and JSU do
he's
that.
He's been good for a while.
He's very, very good.
He's
but he's
been
been
for a while.
Flaming hot the last 2 weeks. Like
good for him.
Let's hurry up. Dude too. I like that guy a lot.
Fallick's going to be back in about 2 minutes. So let's just get into the slate so he's not back in the chat complaining anymore. Let's start with pitching, boys. Again, 8-gamer. You got Ohtani-san at the top. We're talking DraftKings now. You got any FanDuel thoughts? Of course, we'll throw it in there. So Ohtani, Cease, and Bieber up top. Ohtani 11-4, 10-3 for Cease. Then Bieber's at 9-5. Maybe we could find some guys a little bit cheaper, but I mean, down low tonight. The offenses, the chalk offense, anything you want at Coors Field. We got Greinke, so everyone's going to be on the Orioles. We got Irvin, so everybody's going to be on the Cubs tonight. There's a few teams and a few pitchers everybody's going to be targeting. But let's start with pitching. And we'll start with you, JSU. Like, any reason to spend 11-4 on Ohtani? I faded Garrett Cole at 11-5. Should I pay 11-4 for Ohtani? There's Dylan Cease at 10-3. What about the top shelf of pitching?
Yeah, I mean, for sure, it's got to be Ohtani and Cease if you're looking, up there in that 9K plus. I'll just throw 9K plus range. I definitely think it's those two guys. But for me, it's Ohtani. And one of the things that I will probably pay that price tag for Ohtani on at least one of my two main lineups. But one of the things is the matchup. I mean, St. Louis, they have been so bad recently. What have they lost? Like 7 of their last 8 or something like that. Yeah. And they have not been hitting at all. Like plus Ohtani. I mean, I'm going to play Ohtani. Right? The matchup along with that. I'm just the upsides there for sure. I know it's a high price to pay. I think you've got some other pitchers that should be a little higher than what they are as we kind of go down and talk. Like I can make the case that one of the pitchers we're going to talk about under 9K should be right with all these guys in the 9K with the matchup included. So I don't know. For me, it's Ohtani for sure. After that, the only other guy I'd see is Cease, but I'm not going to pay for Cease here at 10-3. It's Ohtani for me. No, Bieber would be the other guy against New York. I know New York's missing some guys in that lineup, but I'm just not paying 9-5 for Bieber. He hasn't looked the part at all. You got Eric Lauer. That game's in Coors. No way I'm paying for him in Coors, even though Colorado does stink. But I just think there are better pitchers as we get below. So for me, in that entire, 8,900 and up range, the only guy that I have interest in is definitely Ohtani. I skipped over Marcus Stroman. I'm not going to play Stroman, but that's just because he just doesn't do it like from a K perspective for me. Like the strikeouts aren't there with me. He's 9,100? No, he's going up against Washington, but if I'm paying up like that, I want a guy that can give me that big ceiling K game for DK especially. And that's just not Stroman. That's not who he is. I'm not paying, 9K for him. If he was like 7,500, I'd think about it probably, but I'm not paying that price tag for Stroman.
Tony, any pay ups here, any spend ups here? I'm looking at 8-5, and I think you were probably thinking this, JSU, with a little bit of Logan Gilbert taking on Oakland. It's 8,500. Tony, what do you got at the top shelf of pitching, and then we'll get into the cheapies?
Yeah, I mean, it's always Ohtani is definitely always in play. And just looking at the Cardinal lineup, I mean, you got all guys that I consider better against lefties. I mean, obviously they got like that Nootbaar, Gorman. They got them filtered in at the top, some lefties, but Ohtani, I think he can work his way through there. I don't need him, though, at 11-4. I mean, if I land on him, absolutely, I'll play him anytime. He's got upside. He's just a beast. So Cease against Minnesota. Minnesota's beat up on right-handed pitching a little bit. They did get shut down yesterday, but Cease has always been pretty good against this Minnesota team. It's pretty cold weather in Chicago, wind blowing in. I think Cease has got a little bit of upside too at 10-3. He's been bad lately, but if you dig a little deeper in, I mean, 2 of the starts against Tampa, 1 against Baltimore, and then he was good before that. At Minnesota, he had a good start. San Francisco, he crushed. At Houston, he crushed. So last 3 starts, he struggled a little bit, but I mean, against Tampa, they've been crushing everybody. So I think you can go to Cease. Definitely not going to any of those other guys. I mean, Logan Gilbert, though, just to go down a little further, 8,500 is going to be the chalk of the slate. And as everyone that knows how I play baseball, I mean, I'm fine eating some chalk at pitcher. I mean, the dude's gone for double digits every single start. 10.5 at Philly last time, but a 28, a 22.5. 2 of his starts were against Cleveland too, who is a pretty gritty team at the plate. And then it's the matchup versus Oakland. All year long, I'm going to play pitchers against Oakland, pitchers against Detroit, pitchers against the Reds, all these bad teams. Like, I'm just going to start there every slate. Okay, who's Oakland playing? And if it's a guy like Logan Gilbert at 8,500, you know he's going to be one of my guys for the night. So definitely Gilbert's my guy at the top. But if I can afford Cease and Ohtani, I got no problem going to either one of them over. We always talk about it on the premium stuff. Like, if I like to build my hitters a little bit, just kind of see where I'm at price wise. If I can get up to the stud, like I'd put Gilbert in for sure, load some hitters in and kind of see where I'm at and see what I can afford for that second pitcher. If I can afford a good guy, of course I'll use them, which usually happens, honestly, because as we go through some of the stacks and stuff, I always find cheap hitters I like. And then when you get all of a sudden you like 2 cheap hitters with your stack and you're like, oh, I can afford Ohtani or Cease. And then, of course, you're going to play them over JP Sears or somebody that's cheaper that you would play if you needed the stack. So, yeah, I mean, I'm okay with all those guys at the top, but I'm not playing those same guys that JSU didn't like. I'm never playing Stroman up there. Not going to those guys, but I'd rank them Gilbert, probably Gilbert, Cease, Ohtani, honestly, just because Ohtani at 11.4 at St. Louis, I don't know. I don't need it that price point as much.
So we got some cheapies today. Louis Varland, kid coming up with the Twins.
John does not look like John Rahm. I mean, come on, Riley Golf. I've seen his golf swing too. It definitely compare him to Habib all you want.
Yeah, let's relax on my
Most
golf
likely
swing.
Doesn't hit it like there. Get that one over there. There you go.
Thank you. Yeah. I don't hit it like John Rahm. I never claim to hit it like John Rahm. I will just say this, but I don't hit it terribly, Tony. Let's not. I've only played for 6 months. Slow down. My swing is not that bad for someone who's played for 6 months.
Uncle T probably thinks you hit like John.
Oh, no. He just thinks that I might work out like John. I'll tell you that.
I'm not sure John works out all that much, honestly.
You don't think he works out that lower body? You don't think he works out the lower body?
I mean, I'm sure he works out a little. I'm just saying he's got more of my body type than yours is all I'm saying.
All right, we'll get to the cheap pitchers.
Your body type? What are you talking about? Your upper body type?
Bracket with the old body type.
You once told me you have moves.
I do have moves, actually. Yeah, he doesn't have as big a move, but he's a little bigger.
Okay.
I got decent sized moves.
Does he have moves? You think he's that like big?
I mean, I think he's a little chubbier. Yeah, but I mean, I don't think it impacts him at all. I think in golf, that's what ruined Tiger. Like the dude started jumping out of helicopters and stuff, trying to be the strongest dude in the world, and he was never the same. Like you don't need to be a Marine to play golf.
That is true.
I think it's good to be a little more agile. A lot of these guys have figured out, but you don't need to be some crazy weightlifter.
I think it's more like the mobility is good for you. There's certain things you need to be able to do. You need to have a little bit of mobility in the backswing. You need to have a little hip mobility, obviously, to turn. Like there's certain things, you need. But you're right. You don't have
riveting content like this. Please visit runpuresports.com. I mean, what's a better promo than these two guys talking about man boobs? Like button would be great. We're looking for 225 today. That would be wonderful. You get the plays of the day from JSU and from Tony. And if you haven't checked the site out, I don't know what I feel like 99% of the people have checked the site out at the very least. Some of you just don't want to sign up because you don't want to win, or you're happy and you're doing what you're doing. Whatever, that's fine. For those of you that haven't checked it out, check it out, runpuresports.com. These guys put up their course. I mean, they give you the plays. They give you the 2 pitchers they're playing tonight. They give you 5 of the bats that they're playing tonight. You just got to figure out the other.
Sometimes K. Fallick will put one pitcher in just to be contrarian.
Yeah.
Just to I don't know who I'm playing with my second one. He likes doing stuff like that. Kevin does.
You think the Iceman can make this the promo code? It's got to be boobs 15.
If anyone can do it, I actually think he can. He was tweeting about boobs. I think he might be able to do that for us.
Yeah, he was liking some boob pics. I will say that for sure.
The CEO?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I mean, who doesn't like some boobs?
He likes ladies, Holden. That's fine. He likes some boobs.
Hey, I'm all for it. I think all of us, we love ladies. It's just great. Oh, look who's
Kevin,
back.
I don't know, Kevin. I mean, is it allowed? You got to ask Mangone. You're underneath, hey, you have the org chart. It's Mangone and then Kevin under the 3-man. You got to ask him if that's okay in that piece of content.
How long was Fallick on timeout then? Did it go 5 minutes or 10 minutes, Fallick? How long?
The new one? Did he go on again?
No, I just gave it to him once.
Oh, just
but
once?
He just came back into the chat.
Yeah. Do you think he was just typing, waiting for it to clear, and then just hit enter right away when the 5 minutes was up?
Yeah, he had "Is That Not Allowed" Tony queued up for 5 minutes because he knew that you were going to say something about him that was not allowed.
Yeah.
Anyways, there's other pitching to get into. We don't want to upset Kevin Fallick.
He just chose to stay silent. The timer didn't work on him. He's pretending.
I think what Kevin did is the timer went off, and then he waited 5 more minutes because he wanted
just
to be the stubborn. Yeah, prove the point. I'm going to show you guys, and then he'll wait, and then he'll finally send it. But he wanted you to notice that, Tony. He wanted you to notice that.
Cut him off during playback. I like Riley Golf Pro. Riley Golf Pro is one of my favorites.
All right, so cheap pitching. We talked about the guys up top. Little Ohtani, little Gilbert, little Cease is fine. JSU just going down low. Louis Varland's coming up to make a start tonight. Who's Louis Varland? He's a kid that's a strikeout pitcher. And with the Twins, now don't worry about ERA being 4.20, just a nice little number. But he had a 25-4 K to walk ratio. So this guy at least has an arm. It's just 15 innings, though. So keep it there. But I know a lot of people at RPS, at least a few guys that know baseball are saying, hey, let's go Louis Varland tonight. So what do you like down low? Varland's 6K, just so you know. So what do you like down low or even in the mid-tier today, JSU?
Yeah, this is why, outside of Gilbert and Ohtani, I'm kind of cutting off a lot of those guys at the top. Even Gibson, I know he's playing KC, but no Kyle Gibson for me. No Pavetta, Manoah. Man, Manoah, no thank you.
Oof.
He's been so up and down, not against Boston. And how Fenway's been playing too, there's been some runs there. I'm staying away from going up against Boston with Manoah. So you get to some of these cheap guys, and yesterday, I mean, I talked about it. It was in my cores. I played the 2 Miller twins, whatever they were. Stevie was trying to sell me on they were cousins. I don't know. Steve's information's been very up and down.
They weren't cousins.
But he said they were cousins, Holden.
He also said on the show that his buddy Gavin, whoever this guy is, with no picture, he says Gavin, played baseball with Lars Newbar or some other, some other middling player.
Yeah.
And Steve's just got bad information, but he gives you winners. That's his
he does give winners. He does give winners, but he's got to go easy on this info. He's got to double and triple check his info before he comes in with Cousins or whatever. Yeah. But whatever. It was a fun idea in my head to say, screw it. These guys, they look really good. 4K and 5,700 worked out yesterday. They both smashed just smashed in general. But so now you get another kid coming up 6K against the White Sox who haven't been good. Why not? Why not take a shot with him at 6K here? He's got the strikeout upside, 8Ks his last time out. Yeah, he gave up a few runs. That's not a big deal at 6K. I care less about that when you can show that you can get strikeouts and you're cheap. It's not as big of a worry to me if he gives up a few runs, but he can get me 6, 7, 8Ks. I'll live with it at 6K. I'll take my chances here against the White Sox. So definitely in on him. And the other kid, I think you could take a shot on JP Sears too at 5,700. Seattle's lineup. Did we get a Seattle lineup yet, Holden? Because I know Rodriguez was trying to give it a go. He didn't go yesterday, right? But they could be a weaker lineup. Who knows? And he's 5,700. Been kind of up and down. I could take a shot with JP Sears. I always like putting my my pitchers from the same game. You get a good ballpark in Oakland for pitching. You get a little JP Sears, Logan Gilbert action, combine them together. I could go right there for one of my teams. So, the cheap pitching looks decent to me. Those are probably my two favorite. I think for me, if I'd rank them, Gilbert, Ohtani, and then Varland and Sears, 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are the 4 guys I'm looking at, and I'm going to try and keep my pool tight with those 4. I'm not going to spread out. I think for most people, especially if you're building like 2, 3 lineups max, I talk about it all the time, but like 3, 4 pitchers is like perfect. If you're playing like 2, 3 lineups, you don't need to have that many pitchers. You don't want to have 5, 6. Like this is too many. You need to condense somewhere. And then from there you go with the bats. And we always talk about it. Like the stacks you can always get different with the stack, especially on, 8, 9, 10 game slates, stuff, bigger slates like this. So there's always going to be some unknown teams. So yeah, pitching, I'm going to be a little less creative, but 4 guys, they're the 4 guys I have the most exposure to here. And I'll be heavy on them today.
All right, Tony's a double spend up night, or are you looking at the mid tier and the bottom tier here after talking about the big guys up top?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these guys at the bottom, I agree. I mean, they look like they're just in solid spots, and I always look at matchups just as much as like upside and stuff. So a lot of these smaller matchups, like Varland against a terrible White Sox team, JP Sears, Seattle, good ballpark for pitchers. Going to be in the 50s. Like I just I'm always going to like decent pitchers in Oakland. So even Jake Irvin at 4K, if you really wanted to, I don't think you need it today. You probably don't because of all these guys that are in the 5 and 6Ks, but I don't even totally hate him at 4K just as a total punt. If it say you loved Coors tonight, which I don't think I love Coors. If you just loved it and you had to just punt a 4K pitcher, I mean, he's projected for double digits. So always, if you can play a 4K guy and he gets you 12 or 13, I think that's okay. I won't do it today more than likely, but you can. My boy Freeland that just keeps owning DC. I think he's got 1 W. Let me pull it up. He's got the only game he really got hit was and by hit I mean everyone was stacking against him. Yeah, it was Pittsburgh. So he definitely got crushed there. But 6 starts, 1 bad one. Everyone stacks against him every time. Yep. So I think he's 5-1 with people going against. I'm obviously not going to play him because we got tons of guys, but people are going to definitely stack against him again tonight. And just looking at the lineup, I mean, there's a lot of weaker righties in that lineup. I don't know. We'll talk about the bats in a minute, but cheaper pitchers. I like Clark Schmidt too. I mean, he's struck out 8 guys the last 2 days. Cleveland is a little tougher of a matchup. They're just grinders at the plate, like I talked about. But 5,900 for a dude that struck out 8 the last 2 games. I think you can consider him. So I'm a lot with JSU with these cheap guys where I guess I would rank them. I think Sears would be my number 1, actually, if I had to rank the cheapies just because of the park. He's already dominated Seattle once. What happened the first time he played?
I think you got to go to Varland, guy. I think you guys got to look into him a little bit more. He got 8 Ks against the Yankees, too. There's another guy. I
like him. I talked about him.
Yeah.
I said him. What are you talking about, Holden?
Tony, and I would look into Varland a little bit. That's another guy that should be on the list just because of his strikeout.
I said him, but I still have Sears ahead of him.
Okay. All right.
Sears, I'd rank it Sears, Schmidt. Varland would be my 3rd favorite. I still like him, though.
Gotta hold my breath going to Sears, man, but
I mean, someone was saying in the chat, like, JP Sears, he's going to give up a bomb. That's okay. He's 5,700. He can give up a
lot of guys
run.
are going to give up a bomb. Will probably give up a bomb.
Give up a bomb.
We're playing him because he's cheap. He's cheap. You can give up a bomb and still make value or exceed value at 5,700. I mean, that happens all the time. I think one of the games, wasn't there one of the games where he struck out like, or was it? He had like 11. He did give up 4 runs, but he got me 22 fantasy points. I don't know. I mean, I'll take 22 from him at 5,700. You tell me he's giving me 18 at 5,700. Why not? Like,
I'll take less than that even.
Yeah, there you go. So, I mean, I don't know what Chase Schmidt. The only reason why I didn't bring up Schmidt was just because of the matchup. But
he may give up more than 1.
He gives up. Strikes out 10. We're set. We're still set. Yeah.
I mean, if he gives up 2, he gives up 2.
I honestly don't even worry about stuff like that. Like, obviously, if guys are on base and they hit a 3-run grand slam type thing, then you're pissed. But especially solo bombs, like I literally don't worry about it at all. It is what it is. You're not getting shutouts.
Yeah.
Joe Adele hit a 470-foot bomb today. That's a freaking bomb.
Dude, there's been some bombs this afternoon. There's been a bunch of bombs this afternoon.
Dude, that place is gorgeous when the roof is open. Seriously.
Yeah.
It's a great place.
And that kid, Josh Jung, is just absolutely annihilating the ball right now.
And our boy Ketel Marte. Where your boy Ketel Marte?
Yeah.
Yeah, another Don. He's waking up.
Yeah. He's waking up. Christian Walker's finally friggin' waking up too. Yeah.
The Doyers offense is waking up right now. It's good to see. I mean, it's the bottom of the order, so good job, guys. But all right, so listen, Mangone, just so you know, we've been on the air for 47 minutes. We haven't even gotten to pitching or to offense yet. So it is possible to do a 1-hour show. It's possible.
The other dude said Urban been struggling in AAA. Like, if I'm ever worried about it, it ain't going to be for a 4K guy. Like, I'm literally not worried about anything with a 4K guy.
See, this is the other thing that you get when you sign up at RPS is a lot of game theory, a lot of strategy. And with baseball, it is a lot of strategy. We say it's easy, but you pick your 2 pitchers, you find a stack, and then you find a mini stack, right? Or you go a 5-2-1 or something like that. So you get a lot of game theory talk, and I don't know how much you get that elsewhere. So runpuresports.com, Gary15, help feed Gary as he goes to Thailand by himself. Not shady at all. So Gary 15%
his
off.
Wife thought, like, do you think his wife was pissed when he's like, man, the company wants me to go to Thailand?
Yeah, she's not happy.
I mean, Amber would have the door locked if I told her I was going to Thailand by myself. Thailand.
Yeah. Oh, look at Mangone.
I don't know if I'd be back in my house if I told my wife
throwing
that.
title under the bus like normal, just throwing title under the bus. It's sad to see. It's very
sad to see it, Mangone. Be better.
I'm still taking you up to the glacier, which is an actual
glacier. You're taking him to where?
To the glacier.
Mangone, I'll tell you right now, if Holden tried to stop this show after an hour, I'd just stay on. Before an hour, I'd just stay on. I'd say bye, Holden. He'd just drop off.
That's what you should do, Mangone. Maybe that's what you should do, right? That's what Mangone should do going forward. Okay, like button would be great. 225, and you guys are getting the plays of the day. We're sitting at 144. That's weak. Come on, guys and girls. That's some weak sauce right there. Get us up there. Get us up to 225. You want their plays.
Tony, they like the 45-minute shows.
I think that could be it. That could be it.
Offense. Let's go game by game like they normally do on the free show. is what I hear. Cleveland and the Yankees. The Yankees offense has been a disaster. I know you brought up Schmidt just a little bit on the Yankee side. They get to face the Beebs tonight. JSU, any interest in either one of these offenses or maybe a one-off?
I don't think I'm going to get to these offenses from like a full stack perspective. New York, with everyone that they're kind of missing right now, I'm staying away from them. The only guy I could consider right now, Volpe at shortstop. I could play some of him just because his speed. He's got a little power, stolen base upside for sure. Swiped 2 bags last game. He is 4,400 though, so the price tag is slowly getting up there, coming off a nice game. But I'm not really on New York. In Cleveland, I like Schmidt. Like, just because he doesn't fall on my like top 4 pitchers, I don't know if I want to pick on him necessarily. So I'm probably staying away from these bats here and, just kind of fade this game.
Tony, you want to fade this one or can you find something? Cleveland, the Yankees.
I mean, honestly, it's a pretty tough slate offensive wise where some of the better spots today I don't like, which these are good slates though for baseball. And one of the reasons I love baseball because it's a shorter slate with some decent pitching, and there's like 3 or 4 games where you're just not going to like offense in. So all of a sudden you're down to 3 or 4 games and everyone plays the same guys. So all of a sudden, if you like a team like Cleveland, which I'm not saying I do, I'm just talking general game theory here. Like, you just get them so freaking low owned that when they score 10 runs or something, you just win the slate. And there's no other sport that I can say that. Like basketball, that doesn't happen. Football, you need a lot to happen for that to happen. Baseball, though, like if Cleveland scores 10 runs tonight, no one has them. It's one of the reasons I love baseball. And it also leads to more variance, which some people don't like because some nights you're just drawing dead when you stack up Cleveland unowned and Schmitz shuts them down. So, but I like the variance. I've always enjoyed the variance of this stuff. So I don't love Cleveland, but I do think you can go, even though I like Schmidt, I still like a few of these lefties. Like obviously Jose Ramirez, Josh Naylor, I always like Josh Bell. You won't be able to play them both on DK, but on like FanDuel, I like a lot when you can play a stack that has either a catcher or first baseman where you can play both of them. And no one ever does that. So, like, if you play Naylor and Josh Bell on a site like FanDuel, just no one has that. And they're both monster, like, righty killers, short porch and right at Yankee Stadium. It just makes a lot of sense low on. Then all of a sudden you pop a guy like Will Brennan in there, another lefty, or Jimenez, who's always overpriced. I don't know what he did to the DK algorithm, but he's been the most overpriced guy for like years. And the algorithm just loves him. So I don't know. I'm definitely not playing Yankees. You got Bader back in the lineup, but he's more of a lefty killer. That lineup's terrible. I honestly probably should consider Bieber a little more because the Yankees lineup is literally as bad as it gets. I mean, such a bad lineup. And it's cold weather there in the 40s. So honestly, maybe I should consider Bieber a little more than I did when we first talked about it. For me, though, offensive-wise, literally just those lefties. Ramirez, Naylor, Bell, Brennan, like the mini stack, like 2-3 of those guys. 4 on FanDuel if you really want it.
Tony, I'll come right back at you with the Cubs in Washington here. The Cubs, I would think, would be pretty popular tonight going up against Irvin. Marcus Stroman on the other side. So with the Cubs in Washington, maybe a little bit of a mini stack for me tonight with the Cubs. Any interest in targeting them in Washington? They're going up against a kid by the name of Jake Irwin, 20% K rate, mid-90s fastball. The issues with him is that he only has 2 pitches, and usually that means you get through the order once, and then you're probably going to be in a lot of trouble second, third time around. So I don't mind going a little Cubs mini stack tonight. Any interest here on either side?
Definitely not Washington. I don't see. I always do like Luis Garcia. He's in the 2-hole. He'd be a one-off play though. Like I've always liked the weird one-offs, as everyone knows that's watched the shows over the year. he would be one of my weird one-offs where he's cheap, he's in the 2-hole, he's unowned. I like him, but I'm definitely not like stacking Washington outside of a one-off here and there. But the Cubs, I actually think the Cubs will be one of the like trendy lower owned teams tonight. I could see people liking them against Irvin. You got cold weather too, in the 40s, and this is what makes this slate interesting to me. You got some not great spots with cold weather all across these East Coast games, and then you got like the Royals games should be in the 60s, 70s. Coors should be in the 60s, 70s. So you got clearly the two best like hitting spots are also the best betting weather too, batting weather. So that's what makes it interesting. And I do think the Cubs will come in 10 to 15% owned with I consider that kind of high for this slate, where I don't think the good hitting teams will come in that much higher than the Cubs. But they are. You just look at the lineup against a guy like Irvin, you can make a case for a lot of these guys. Obviously, the top of the lineup, these guys are all good. Happ, Bellinger, Suzuki, Mancini, I always like better against lefties, but solid. Not playing Hosmer. I don't know. I'm just not much of a Cubs guy. And the cold weather, too, I can see why people would like them. If I was picking anybody, though, it would be Happ or Bellinger right in the middle. More of a mini stack again, though. I just won't have a ton of this game.
What's funny about this, Tony, though, is so I don't really see much of an ownership difference, like you were saying, between the good weather. So why aren't we just jamming the good weather spot?
Kind of what I was – I mean, they're going to be higher, but this is almost like a golf conversation too. Like, okay, so Bellinger's 15%, and some of these good spots with good are 23%. Like, is there really that much of a difference? And I don't think there is. So
yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be pretty. I think what it looks like, it's going to be spread out. Like the Cubs ownership, some of these guys are going to be 10% owned. Like a lot of these guys probably get to like 10% owned, and I think that's where like the Baltimore guys get to. The Royals maybe just under that, but right around there too. To me, it's very interesting as I look through the ownerships. Like, no, I don't want to play Washington. All those guys, for the most part, will probably be pretty low owned. Maybe Garcia gets a little ownership just because he's always cheap. He's in the 2-hole. People like, someone who's really cheap, second baseman, high up in the order. I could see him getting a little bit of ownership, but outside of him, no one else is playing really Washington. But I mean, not that I want to play Washington either, but for me, you look at the Cubs and I just think they fall in a spot where I don't want to play the Cubs more because they're not going to be like Washington ownership. They're going to be like higher. They're going to be like some of these offenses that I'm going to like that we're going to talk about later that I think should be higher than them. And they're going to come in about the same because it's going to get spread out for some reason. So I'm just off this game. You got to have some games you cross off, especially I'm not playing 20 or 150 teams. So you got to kind of keep it somewhat tight, no matter what, when you're talking about hitters, pitchers, all that stuff. So yeah, I'm off of it. I could see why some people play the Cubs, but it's cold. I'm staying off.
All right, boys and girls, where are we on the likes? We are at 177, so about 48 more. Got to get to 225 to get our boys' plays of the day. Simple as that. Check out our site, runpuresports.com, runpurebets.com. The guys, especially Joey Work, on fire right now. JJ, Spread, Tyler, the rest of the crew there doing a wonderful job during the NBA playoffs. So Gary, 15% off your first payment of a monthly plan. Now we've got Minnesota and the White Sox. There's some games you just cross off. JSU, is this one of them?
I mean, this is one I'm definitely crossing off. Not that I'm playing Cease, but I'm not picking on him. And I already talked about playing the 6K dude for Minnesota. So I'm probably just staying away from this whole game in general from an offensive side. This is easy for me. I'm assuming Tony's the same way since he likes Cease more than me.
Tony?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, yes, but some of these guys have good history. Like Polanco's 5 for 15 with a bomb. I always like Polanco too, so I definitely have a Polanco issue. But he's got good history against Cease. He'd be another one-off. Definitely not full stack with Minnesota, but I just like some of these bats too. And this is an example of baseball too, where I can like both sides for sure. Because Cease I like because of his strikeout upside, and Minnesota goes cold too, like we've seen at times. But the way Minnesota's hit this year, I just need to have some of them. And the lineup does look good against a guy like Cease because you got your lefties, which profile good. Gallo's been decent this year too. And then the righties are freaking Carlos Correa and Byron Buxton, who's been on fire. So I definitely want some of Minnesota, just a smaller mini stacks and stuff. But I'm just looking through this. So, like, he's owned. Nick Gordon's in the lineup. Cease has owned him. Kepler's got 3 bombs and 20 at-bats off of Cease. So that's interesting up top. I was trying to see if Cease owned any of these other guys. Willie Castro. They actually have a decent amount of bombs and strikeouts. So kind of what I wanted to see, actually, that there's upside both directions with this game. Definitely not playing White Sox, though. I just don't like this lineup. I like Timmy Anderson against lefties. I hate the bottom of this lineup. I'm really never stacking the White Sox. They're just a bad team. And, yeah, I mean, I like Minnesota's lineup, though, outside of a few. Like Willie Castro, I don't like him. Gordon's been terrible against Cease. But the top of the lineup, I think, is perfect for minis. I wouldn't be shocked at all if they hit a couple bombs.
All right, little mini stack action. We got the next game that we're going to roll with. That's Toronto and Boston. I know one of our guys, Stevie Boynton, likes this game a lot. Now, again, we look at weather. It's going to be 50s. It'll get down to the 40s at night. My sense is that he's just targeting both pitchers because Alek Manoah has not been very good as of late. There's just no doubt about it. And then you've got the Blue Jays who've scored 5 runs in 7 of 9. So the walk rate for Manoah scares me, 14%. Strikeout rate is just 19%. Been a bad start for this guy, JSU. So we could see some runs here, and I wonder how popular this game will be. What do you think?
Yeah, I wonder how popular, because in my head, like looking at it, I would have thought it'd be a little more popular, honestly, than what I'm even seeing.
Really?
Just because of the 2 pitchers. I mean, Pivetta can give up bombs too. I'm not saying he's a really great pitcher either, but Manoah, I mean, we've seen it. He's had some pretty bad starts. He's had an okay start here and there, but Boston and in Fenway too, just there's been runs here. There's been some runs in here. I think Alex Verdugo, you got to talk about it. Dude's been on fire. I mean, he's definitely one of my favorite, just like even just from a one-off perspective. I love him tonight. And 16, he's had 16 at bats, only a small, not that big of a sample, but he's hitting 438 with, what was it? A bomb, few RBIs. He's had a nice little history against Manoah too. So, I always like that when you got a guy who's on a heater right now and he's had some decent, whether it be, not that big of a sample size, but still, 16 at bats, hitting 438 in Fenway. I like some Alex Verdugo. I like the Boston side of this game a lot. Not that you can't play some of these Toronto guys. I mean, Bo Bichette has been really hot as well. I think he's a really good play on the Toronto side. But I'm going to be stacking Boston for sure. That's one of my top stacks. Yoshida is starting to finally get it too. He's slowly getting there, which has been nice to see of late. So I like him as well. Definitely going to be on some of these outfielders for Boston. And then, I'm in on the full stack. We saw Wong hit. He had 2 bombs yesterday. I don't know about 2 bombs, but I mean, he's hit really good his last 3 games that he's played. So, I mean, again, was it like 9 hits in his last 3 games, 2,300. Why the hell not? Get me a catcher in my stack. Yeah, I like the Red Sox here. I'm going to be high on them for sure.
Tony, want any Boston or Toronto tonight? We got Wong. at catcher 2,300, and then Verdugo 4,700. I think Duran is 3,500. So there are some bats here, Tony.
I knew this was going to be the game coming in. That I knew me and Johnny would agree on everything except this game coming in because of Manoah. I think Boston's the worst stack of the night, and I knew he was going to love him for a fact just because of Manoah.
No, so, you knew it because I've hated Manoah since day one of the season.
And we don't really differ our opinions in baseball. Like, I know, you know who I like, and I know who you like. We do the shows all the time. I knew we were going to disagree on this game coming in, and I'm betting Toronto tonight, minus 145. I got it at. I think Toronto's just a stone cold lock. They're on fire.
I bet Boston earlier.
Yeah, I knew we would disagree on this one for sure because I think it's just a stone cold lock. And I mean, Toronto's been killing the ball. I think Manoah matches up good with this offense. So basically, what he said, I want to go the opposite. I love Toronto. I think they're hot. I like this lineup against Pivetta. I like the lineup all the way down too. Even Witt and Espinal have been decent enough. So yeah, I like Toronto a lot, and I don't like the only guy I would play at all from Boston is Wong, just because he's 2,300 in a catcher and he's been somewhat hot. So he would be the guy I would go to.
You're playing a slap dick hitter like Whit Merrifield. No, you're not.
Well, I mean, probably not.
The guy hasn't hit a home run in fucking 10 years. What? Come on. You're not playing him. Play Kiermaier. That's a better play.
Well, I always play Kiermaier.
That's a way better play, though. Or say you're playing Whit Merrifield because second base stinks. Like, don't come on.
I didn't even say I was playing Whit. I just said I said him because he was the only guy in the lineup that I didn't love. So I'm like, even Whit.
I know he's been swinging it. I'm not saying
that. If I play Toronto anyway, it's one of the things I always do with Toronto, and I've said this for 3 years now. When I play Toronto, I pretty much just play the big boys and then like Kiermaier. So like 4 of the top 5 guys and Kiermaier. Like that's how I always stack Toronto. Because if I do it, I want the big boppers in there. I don't want Witt. So I mean, I agree with that. Like if I found the perfect team though, and he freaking hit with my stack, I wouldn't be scared to play him.
Luce coming in hot here.
Noah's fat.
When we were in Boston for that live fight, I'm still telling you, when me and Amber were on the elevator, and he comes and sits. Like he's a little smaller, but he's big. Right on the elevator, we rode down with him, and I'm like, that's freaking Manoah.
Does he have moves?
I think so.
Might have 3 of them. Joey Work in the house. What up, Joey Work? We cashed that one this afternoon.
Wait a second. Joey Work's in chat. Joey Work, you pissed me off yesterday. You said you were going to come on playback and talk with the boys, and then you never showed up. You no-showed me and Tony. You said, I'm going to talk up the Knicks, blah, 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 and then you were just nowhere to be found. Very hurtful, Joey Work. You're my guy. You know you're my guy because you're the only one who brought JSU a snack when I was up doing the show in the room. I asked someone to bring me up something. No one brought me up anything but Joey Work. Love Joey Work, but I was very upset that he didn't come and talk with the boys, talk up his Knicks. I mean, he's got to be pumped. I don't even know how he is, though, Tony, because he never came in and talked with us. He never hung out.
I'm just disappointed he brought you food. What did he come up there like a hunchback? Here you go, sir. Here's your lunch.
No,
why would Joey Work bow down to JSU?
Generous person.
Why?
He didn't bow. He was a generous person. He tried to bring JSU up a snack. I appreciate it. I said, no, thank you, Joey, but I appreciate you coming up here. It was very, very nice of you as I was doing an 1.5-hour show with my guy JT Hayes and my guy Mangone. Yeah. And that was back when Mangone had to do an 1.5-hour show. You know, that was back then, you know, but hey, what are you going to do?
He says he's an indie. Work. So apparently
I tried to get him to come up and hang out, but he doesn't got a car.
He doesn't have internet or a car. Rough times for Joey.
Internet? He said he doesn't have internet either.
No, I mean he said he did. He says he's an
tough scene for Joey.
He didn't come on, so apparently
he better have internet. He better have internet and ladies in Indy. That's all he needs.
He's been on a tear on the ladies' side, I must say. Ever
since that night, he came on playback and he had 3 58-year-olds with him. That must have been the slump buster.
Seriously?
Oh yeah, they were old.
That was a while ago. I was still doing shows at my parents' house when that happened.
Oh, you remember
that? Was
that?
a while ago.
Yeah,
I remember it.
You remember that? Does that happen every day? Like someone comes on with 3 ladies?
I'm wondering.
I remember it for sure. Holden wasn't on.
He was eating dinner with them too, and he like went live from dinner.
Yeah, it was me, you, and Uncle T. We were talking golf winners.
Oh, Uncle T was on a show?
Yeah, he was on a playback show with us. It was the only show we've ever gotten him to do in friggin' 4 years. Can't get Uncle T to do anything.
Guys. 3-on-1's a lucky man. I don't care if they're 50 in or not. Congratulations, Joe Work. Congratulations, buddy. It's not easy to please 3 women at the same time. So way to go. He already won. His bet already won. He picked the Diamondbacks, a plus money today. Go figure. Joey Work on a tear. Check out Run Pure Sports, Run Pure Bets. Oh, David.
Joey, you don't need the second work. Just say Joey putting in the work.
The work. Yeah. So anyways, Mangone, we're actually helping you out. You won't have to go the full hour today.
How do you know they haven't already started? A lot of times the shows start now.
No way.
No shot. They're not waiting until we finish.
Nah, they're waiting.
That's what I'm happy with those numbers, Joey.
Well, who's gonna watch? Everybody's watching us. We got about 500 watching. In and out, we probably had well over 1,000.
Holden, don't disrespect Joey Work when he puts in winners like that.
Yeah, we just totally went over it.
Seriously.
205 likes, and I said 225. Get your asses in gear, people.
This is ridiculous. Joey Works 16-3-1 in his last 20 bets, and Holden doesn't even say anything.
And I get him an interview with the best horse handicapper in the freaking country, Kentucky Derby week, and he doesn't talk him up.
Unbelievable.
Dude.
You should be fined. You should be fined for this show, Tony. I'm putting it in. I'm putting it to Iceberg. I'm getting to the boss. Boss is going to contact you. We need to fine you after this show. This is ridiculous.
Kangaroo Court. I'd say it's been a pretty good show. So you can go do what you want. Kansas City and Baltimore. Tony, should I be on Baltimore tonight going against Greinke? Come on. We can get different.
Baltimore's been one of those teams, too, that everybody at Run Pure, probably other places, too, we just keep playing this team, and it just always feels like they're in a good spot. Like, look at their runs, 11, 5, 6, 4, 7, 6, 6, 5. Like, every day they're scoring 4+ runs, which, yeah, we want the big runs, but they're just crushing. Now they get Greinke, what's old Grampy Greinke been doing? Let me pull him up.
Not well.
Been giving up some bombs, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, eventually the mirrors can't work. So he gave up 7. He finally got shellacked last game, 4, 4, 3, 1. He's been so bad for so long. But yeah, Baltimore, I'm gonna love Baltimore. Baltimore is another one of those teams where I don't really ever play Frazier. I'm not playing O'Hearn more than likely at the bottom. So it'll be the good guys. And we do got so Stowers is in there tonight for 2K. That's a nice price point in the middle of that lineup. The top of the lineup's awesome. And Kansas City, I don't usually pick on Gibson, so I won't full stack it. But you could pick a piece or two out of there. Like Melendez, I think he hit a bomb again yesterday. You could pick a piece out of there, but I do definitely like Baltimore tonight. And we got hot weather there. Kansas City has always been a park I don't like, but this year it's been pretty good so far. So I don't know if it's just weather where it's cold everywhere. Maybe it's a little warmer there type thing. But so far this year, though, it's been good, and we got to pay attention to the recent trends.
JSU, you like Baltimore too? Popular tonight, right?
Definitely like Baltimore. Love Jorge Mateo at shortstop. And then I like the idea of just getting a catcher from this game too. Salvi's been on fire. So I know we're talking KC, but he's starting to hit a little bit. You got Rushman if you can spend up for him, or Melendez, So I like the idea. Like, I'm not going to stack KC, but maybe pull a one-off or, a mini and take one of these catchers, put them with my Baltimore guys. And yeah, I'm going to be on this team for sure. I'm not going to play Frazier, but I could see myself playing like Urias at 3,200. I could see myself playing him. I could see, I already talked about Mateo, Stowers I could play. Probably not going to play O'Hearn either. Those are probably the two guys I cut out. but everyone else definitely in play for me in the stack. And then
Can you
KC.
go four-man? JSU, can you just go 4-man with these guys tonight, or you need the full 5?
Oh yeah, I definitely think you can 4-man these guys for sure if that's the way you want to go about it. But
it is.
I also think this team you can definitely 5-man too. So it's all about your roster construction, your build. But yeah, you could go a 4-man Holden, and then maybe Salvi or MJ at catcher as like the 5th. You could from this game if you wanted to.
Mr. Donk O'Hearn revenge game. It is G Risen. Who's probably 12 beers and 16 ounces down. We're live to leave this donkey fest and join us on the final countdown.
I told you they were going to be live.
Huh?
I told you they were going to be live.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty disrespectful, but
love it.
4 people have left since he announced that. So, all right, we're done with Baltimore, Kansas City. Wow, we're going slow. We do need to pick it up. Angels, St. Louis. Tony, you seen anything in this game with the Halos and the Cardinals?
Definitely not playing any bats in this game.
Right. JSU?
Definitely not playing any bats from this game.
Okay. I'm going to go to the other game. We're not playing any bats, and then we can focus on Coors. Seattle, Oakland. We all like the pitching in this game. JSU, pass on the bats?
So Seattle, Oakland. So I do think you can stay away from the bats if you want to. But this is one of the games like Tony was talking about. I forget which game it was where he liked the pitcher, but he liked the hitters as well. I think it was the Yankees game. But I could see you pulling like a mini stack from this game if you wanted to. Sears does give up home runs, so you can take a one-off against them for sure. Someone with power, I could see it. So if I was going to do it, it'd be from the Seattle side. Probably not going to play any guys from Oakland. I will just say the one dude that has been smashing has been Brent Rooker, just absolutely destroying the ball right now. He's got 9 home runs. It feels like every game he's hitting a home run. I just like get the notifications. You just pop up like Brent Rooker, another bomb. He's been really good. He's 3,800. If you don't like Gilbert for any reason, like you're fading him, let's just say, whether it's for ownership or whatever, not a terrible idea to maybe take a one-off and hope Rooker like just hits a bomb. He's been doing it. So if he's in the lineup, I don't know if the lineup's been confirmed out yet, but if he's in there, I think you can do that if you don't like Gilbert. But yeah, for me, I'm not going to be full stacking either side of this game. It'd just be more a one-off situation.
Who are you asking about with the A's, JSU?
Rooker, Brent Rooker.
Yeah, he's hitting third tonight.
I mean, I hope so. He's been killing the ball.
Yeah. All right, Tony, we're moving on from that one too, right? Let's just get to Coors. Unless you got.
I do think like you can play against Oakland every day the rest of the year. I don't think I'll have much Seattle tonight, just the way the slate sets up. But any day the rest of the year, you can stack against Oakland, just because once you get in that bullpen, you are in good shape. So I wouldn't make fun of anyone for Seattle, but I won't have them. And
that is another good point.
Chase Peterson always a good one-off.
You get that bullpen, you can easily just that's why like a one-off mini stack.
They could have one run in the 8th, and you could win the slate.
Yeah.
Oh, look at Mangone. He's like, views are dropping. We love to see it. Yeah, you're right. Now
they're on their own show, and they're worried about what we're doing.
Is Mangone? If he's doing a show, why is he in our chat?
Mangone is doing like 10 different things at this. Let me tell you right now, Mangone is hosting that show. He's like DMing with like a bunch of his buddies, talking about whatever's going on for the night. He's doing his cores. He's doing his bets. He's literally doing 10 different things at once right now. I guarantee you.
He doesn't even want to have a live show behind the paywall, which is the most important show that there is. So come on, man. Well, Mangone's not even listening to us. He's probably like
he's definitely not listening. He was just typing. I'll be very impressed if he was somehow listening.
No way. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. All right, let's do Coors here before we get out of here. Tony, Milwaukee, Colorado. I think you and I both like Kyle Freeland. Maybe not tonight. I don't know. It's warming up here. nonetheless, any bats from Milwaukee, Colorado, or are we just fading Coors?
I mean, Coors is always going to be the easiest discussion point for me. Like, if you like either one of these teams, absolutely jam them in there. It's 74 degrees at Coors, wind's blowing out a little, 2 lefties. I like Freeland, sure, but like, am I going to make fun of you for playing Milwaukee? No. Like, I'm definitely okay with it. I like the Rockies side more just because the Rockies have just struggled. They suck. I mean, let's be honest. But tonight against Lauer, I just think they're going to be too low owned for what this slate is. And I like a lot of these guys better against lefties. Crone, Diaz, Grichuk, all these guys, and the 2 bums at the bottom, Trejo and Tovar. I like both of them guys better against lefties too. So I like the Rockies. I am definitely heavy on them tonight. So we talked earlier in the show about guys that are 10% owned. I think we get the Rockies 10 or less. So all of a sudden you can play the Rockies at Coors and get the same ownership as the Cubs. I'm in.
Sign you up?
Yeah, I'm in.
Sign you up. JSU, talk to us, dude. What do you got on Coors?
I agree 100% with what Tony said about Colorado. I'm on board with them for sure. A little lower on the Milwaukee side, but Grichuk hitting 6th. You got Crone who hit a little bit. Diaz in the 5-hole at catcher. I'm definitely higher on Colorado as a whole, and I'm going to be off Milwaukee, just more ownership based. But yeah, I agree. Colorado's going to be too low owned. I mean, it's because they stink, though, right, Tony? Like, that's one of the reasons. But it's one of the best hitting spots on the board.
I just hate it. The thing I hate and love about Colorado at the same time, I literally hate Profar and Chris Bryant. Like, Chris Bryant is terrible.
He's always the guy I leave off my stacks too whenever I stack.
So I'll even take it a step further now, though. Like, he's priced so freaking high that it almost makes me just want to take him because I can't believe he's 5,900. He's priced so high that I almost want to take him again.
Because he's too expensive.
This is how much I like baseball, though. Like, if Chris Bryant was 3,200 and I knew everyone was going to play him, I would hate him. I would never play him. But he's 5,900, and I don't think anyone's really going to play him. And it makes me like him more. That's how crazy baseball is. But I mean, Profar sucks too, and everyone plays him always. I'd rather play the 2 guys at the bottom of the lineup, but
I like your Tovar call too. Shortstop, 3K. I like him. Yeah, I mean.
All right, boys. Let's see if we got where we needed to go. 225. Exactly. Way to go, guys. Way to go, guys and girls. Congratulations. That means you get our plays of the day. Now, it's a free show, so I got to look and see if anybody's plays are in here. I don't even see them, guys. Mangone took them out. Mangone took the plays of the day out. Absolutely unacceptable, but he can't hear me, so who gives a shit? Anyways, what's your play of the day, JSU? Let's go. Give it to us.
Yeah, so I'm going right to the Boston game. I like my boy Alex Verdugo. Yeah. He's going to add to that, 7-hit list from Manoah. He's going to make it like, 9 or 10 after this game, and I like him. He's been crushing it. 4,700 on DK. Going right back to the well with Mr. Verdugo from Boston.
What do you got, Tony? Who's your play of the day?
So I specifically didn't talk about him when I was going through because I had my play of the day before the show even started. And he's 12 for 24 against Mr. Lauer. Lefty right out of the gate. Charlie Blackmon, somehow with great history against Lauer, 4,900. Friggin' love Charlie Blackmon tonight. If you give me a good lefty BVP, that's right up my avenue right there. So I'm all aboard. And the nice thing is you can like play him and then fade like Profar and Bryant and then play like 4 of those guys at the bottom. You can start with Crone if you want, but don't be scared to like skip all those high on like middle guys. Play Grichuk, Trejo, Tovar, Blackmon, and you're getting a Rocky stack if you do that. 7% owned at Coors Field. That's how you win a tournament.
This is how well I know Big T. When he was talking about Chris Bryant in the Profar situation, I was almost going to spit out. I'd just rather play Charlie Blackmon, who's got great history in the one hole lefty. And of course, in my head, I go, I know he's going to call that first play, and that's why he's not talking about it. And I just left it out because you always, whoever you like, you don't like to bring up. Or you like to bring it up.
Like, without you see that, Holden? I'm back on Holden's side, and he's trying to tell my secrets on the show.
Absolutely. This is why we have premium.
Who gives people secrets? If a magician never shows what he does, he's telling people my secrets.
He's a magician. Come on, JSU. He's a magician, apparently.
Now I'm done. Next time I'm going to have to talk about someone and throw you off.
Yeah, you got to throw a curveball in the mix. Come on.
You got
to start getting creative with your shit, Tony. I'm calling you out right now.
They won't shut up. This is what you get behind the paywall, though. You get great information. You get long shows. You got JSU kissing Tony's ass.
We ran out of
magic.
We didn't run out of time. What do you mean run out of time?
Who said that?
Actually, you called my bluff
again, Holden. I didn't actually want to talk about it.